Hi, welcome back to this EDC Supplemental video. Here we're actually going to talk about some of the actual items that were talked about in the video or the PowerPoint, whichever one you saw. So again, when we talk about EDC, we're talking about everyday carry, and it has to be stuff that you actually carry every day. One of the first key items that everybody carries is your phone. Now, phones today are small personal computers. So within your phone, not only do you have a means of communication, you have a source of light, you also have the availability to download survival manuals, packing lists. You can put in, there is a fabulous GPS program called Gaia, G-I-A-I, that will give topographical maps of your area. So as long as you have cell phone coverage, you have means of navigating, of survival information and communication. So your cell phone is one of your first items within your EDC, but make sure you utilize it to its highest potential. Get those programs and apps that are out there that can help you in a situation and get those on your phone. The second thing for me is my phone case. This is a little larger than what most people carry, but it also acts as part of my EDC kit. So within the phone case, and I think I got this at Tractor Supply in town, there is an elastic band that is set for credit cards, money, and items like that. For me, I keep small cards that are survival cards. This first one is called a Fresnel lens, and it's a magnifying lens which comes in handy for trying to get splinters or just reading fine print if you're old like I am, and it's also good for starting fires. So as you can see, it's a high magnification, and just like when kids were little and they'd use a magnifying glass to start fires, you can actually use this to start a fire with. These cards are by a group called Ready Man, and they are laser cut metal items that can be used in survival. They're credit card size, and they come in a variety of different cards. This one here is the medical survival card, cut to the medical survival card, and within it, it has suture needles, it has tourniquet straps, it has tweezers, it has small cutting implements, everything you need to patch up people or things. Another one is the wilderness survival card. Here it has a 3-pronged frog jig, a small saw, some arrowheads, some snare items that you use to weave cordage through the holes to create a snare, as well as some fishing hooks and a couple little small needles for quick repairs. Also wrapped around this I have is a bit of fire starter. This is waxed paper, so it's waterproof, and you scrape off the wax and you shred up the little paper fibers, and that creates a tinder bundle. Tinder bundle we will talk about more in the fire module. And there's a fisherman survival and a hostage escape, but be careful with the hostage escape because it actually has lockpicks in it. And as we'll discuss, if you're caught with lockpicks on you, it is a crime. So no reason to go to jail just because you wanted to have a cool card in your EDC kit. Now, the 3 items that we had talked about in the EDC is a sharp pointy thing, a source of light, and a source of fire, and to have some kind of redundancy in there. So for me, the sharp pointy thing is a good folding knife. Now, with folding knives, you want to look at what you are comfortable carrying. You want to make sure it has a very positive locking. There's 2 types of locks. There is a latch lock, which this one has, that is locking back here in the mechanism, and then you have one that locks inside the body of the knife. Whichever one you get, make sure that it is strong, it holds the blade, and doesn't let it come back on you, because if a folding knife folds on you while you're holding it, you now have a new injury to deal with. As far as the size of the knife, again, be with what is comfortable for you, and also be aware of your situation. If I'm in a 3-piece suit, I'm not going to wear something this size. I'll have something small like this. At least I have some means of cutting. Next is a light. You want some kind of good, strong pin light. This is the Pelican 1920. I like this for its size and its illumination. The key thing with any kind of a light is that when you store it in your pocket, please store it with at least one or both batteries turned upside down so that it doesn't turn on in your pocket and you burn your batteries down. And then you just get into a habit that anytime you store it, you put the battery in upside down and you screw the cap on. And again, if I'm dressing up, I'll have a smaller one. If I'm really dressed up, I'll have a very slim, nice looking flashlight. But you always have a flashlight, always put the battery in backwards, and that goes with that. So for fire, a source of ignition, nothing really beats a Bic lighter. We're talking your first line EDC carry. It's simple, it's cheap. I wrap a couple wraps of 100 mile an hour or Gorilla Tape on it. Gorilla Tape's wonderful. It works. It could be used to close a wound, to repair an item that gets torn, and it takes no weight. It also can be actually used, if you take the ends of Gorilla Tape and shred it up, it will actually catch fire and works as a really good fire starter. So you keep those two together, you have a source of fire as well as a fuel source for catching a tinder bundle going. Before I get into the EDC 10, in your wallet is another item, especially for guys, we carry our wallet around. You want to have some hideaway cash. So I keep a little 20 stashed away, and I keep a few other items. We talk about, and we'll talk more about your USB drive and the important things that should go on that. Here's another one. It's a very thin, flat USB drive that fits in the wallet, takes up no space. I also found this little, it's actually a dog tag survival kit, and within it, it has a saw, 2 little broadheads, and some fishing lures, as well as hooks. It's just a nice, neat little emergency kit that is a backup to my backup to my backup. And that's pretty much it for the wallet kit. So the EDC 10, the Mini 10. Again, this is a small little Altoids tin. It's wrapped with what's called gaffer's tape. Gaffer's tape, different from Gorilla Tape. It is not as strong as Gorilla Tape, but it also doesn't leave that sticky residue, so you can take it on and off something, and it doesn't leave all that gunky stuff behind, which is good if I'm getting in and out of my tin. So inside the tin, and I'll lay these all out and we'll take a closer look at them later, I have a little bit of dryer lint, which is a great source of starting fires. It's in a little Ziploc bag. Then I have 2 water purification tablets. Each one of these tablets will purify 1 liter of water. I have a very loud whistle. This one's made by a company called True, T-R-U-E, and they make a lot of really cool miniature gadgets. Look them up, they're good stuff. I also have this, I have a survival belt that has, within the belt buckle, has one of these little items in there, and I bought 3 or 4 of them as good backups. It covers 2 of the 3 items that you need for basic survival, one being a little LED light, and the other is a small little ferrocerium rod. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, if you're down to using this thing to start a fire, you're probably hurting, but it can do it. I have a small bit of Kevlar thread. I have my primary USB, and this one here is 128 gigabytes. It'll hold everything I really need. Now, I've just seen a 1 terabyte thumb drive that's about the same size, and I'm thinking about that because that would actually provide me the ability to back up my entire household computer onto that thumb drive. Should I have to leave the house in case of a fire or tornado, I would have a complete computer backup. $20 bill, and a small little razor blade. And then, of course, the tin itself can come in handy. So we're going to cut to a close-up of all these little items so you can take a look at what is in the EDC tin. Okay, so again, this is my everyday carry. This is what, when I go out, anytime during the day, I will always have these items here. You don't get too much on there, because if it gets too heavy to carry, you're going to stop carrying it, then it's of no use to you. So everyday carry it every day, and we'll see you in the next class. Bye.